It's witchcraft.
Hi, and welcome to the Solarium, Chelle and Layla's sunlit, herb-filled sanctuary, where they kick off their pointy-toed shoes, hang up their besoms, and snuggle into overstuffed chairs with some tea and a big fat joint. I'm Layla, and on this episode, we're going to regale you with stories from the underbelly of Salem, Massachusetts. One-star reviews.
And I'm Chelle, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm already giggly and we haven't even started yet. So strap on your little witch hats because we're in for a fun night.
Chelle and I want you to keep in mind that we adore most of these places. Now, a couple of them will absolutely deserve their bad ratings, but for the most part, these are undeserved, terrible reviews of some pretty cool places.
We just get a kick out of how ridiculous the internet can be. And after having a conversation about that ridiculousness, we thought, let's make fun of it.
To be honest, this episode is a blatant ripoff of the podcast Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet, and you should definitely check it out. A brother-sister duo make fun of one-star reviews, and it's a very good time. So shout out to Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet for the idea for this episode. So first, Chelle, what are you smoking?
Funny story. Okay, I had an infused pre-roll, not gonna lie, but let's just talk about gummies and
Mm.
Gen X for a minute. So I came to see you and Native American reservation in New York that has these fabulous gummies, which I want to start with the flavor. You know how sometimes when something says it's like mixed berry, it still tastes like ass?
Yeah, edibles are hit or miss that way.
They really are because they either have way too much sugar or are way too weedy. These things, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because they are the right mix of candy taste and weed.
They're
Wow.
dangerous because they are tasty.
50 milligrams per piece.
We've talked about these gummies before. They're the red eye, right?
Yep, red eye.
These edibles, they say 50 milligrams, but they hit much harder, I would think. They're very, very good, very potent.
This isn't something you take unless you got some time on your hands. I've smoked a lot. I've eaten a lot of edibles, and I remember one night you were like, "Hey, how many do you want? Are you sure you want two? You getting ready for bed? You're gonna be okay." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Wow, if I had three, I think I would have been in that like glued to the couch state, my eyes barely open. These things are good.
Yeah, three is waking up in the morning still stoned.
You got to be careful with these. Like when it says give yourself 8 hours of sleep, no joke, it's like a NyQuil hangover. But, I have a bad back, and these actually, there's something about them because I looked at the ingredients and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of CBD in it, but it does something that, like, if I'm having a backache, it actually like is like hits the spot. I just got to find the balance between passing out for 12 hours and it handling my back.
I really do like edibles for physical pain. They seem to help a lot.
But these work for me. And as you know, I know you have some scientific mumbo jumbo on why this is, but generally edibles don't work on me. These things whoop my ass.
Yep, we've talked before about for you how some of the terpenes in cannabis really can help with pain. The four common terpenes in cannabis that are best for pain reduction are pinene, limonene, beta carotene, and the one that works best for you, which is myrcene. So these edibles probably have very high concentrations of these particular terpenes.
That 50 milligram shit, man. So, what are you smoking?
I'm smoking what I am calling my Season of the Higher Witch blend, which is some
You made a salad out of a bunch of things, didn't you?
sort of. I did an herbal I did an herbal blend. This is lemon cherry gushers, and I've mixed it with an herbal blend of mullein, marshmallow leaf, damiana, and rose. So this is my elevated Season of the Higher Witch blend.
You
Very
always
tasty.
smoke mullein.
I do. Not only does it give the smoke blend a nice taste, it gives it a nice smoke. Mullein is what I would consider a base herb. So even if I didn't have cannabis in there, I could add extra mullein and that would be the bulk of the herbal blend because the smoke that it produces has a nice mouth feel. It's very tasty. And then adding in the marshmallow leaf, that's also a good base herb, and it gives it also a nice mellow taste. The damiana is a little sweet and spicy. And then, I like dried rose petals in just about everything, and that gives it a nice sweetness. And together they all kind of taste like fall to me. I was loving it for this time of year.
I feel like when I've had a blend with you that had mullein in it, it was just like a lot more smoky than expected. Does that
Yes,
make sense?
it does, because when you smoke some herbs, people are familiar with lavender or rose petals that doesn't produce a lot of smoke.
Right.
And those are what I would consider flavoring herbs or secondary herbs. And mullein is,
Like a dense smoke.
right, yeah, mullein is one I would consider a base herb because it does produce a thicker, denser smoke. And although any smoke can cause problems in your lungs, have particulates, give you a cough, mullein is an herb that's actually good for your lungs. So, yes, smoking is bad. Mullein is good. Smoke at your own risk, I guess.
Will do. Thanks for preaching.
I do have a little bit of tea before we get into our 1-star reviews. Actual tea, not gossip. I'm drinking some blood orange tea that I got at a Moonlight Oddities event where they had a bunch of pagan pop-ups. And this is a local tea store called the Montour Falls Tea Company. It's a woman-owned company, and they're pretty cool. The ingredients are black tea, orange, blackberry leaves, and safflower petals, and it is very delicious.
Now, I did something today that I thought would be interesting. I am having tea that a listener sent us.
What is it?
It's called, I love this name. Between the name and the picture, I get a giggle, especially after a little marijuana. It is called Tea Pegs, and it has a rooster on it. And if it's a rooster, I'm just going to call it a cock.
Uh-huh.
It is called Everyday Brew, and I am a fan of black tea. This is black tea, and it's actually very tasty, and I love it. So I'm
Nice.
having a nice sip of that. I unfortunately don't recall what listener sent it, but you know who you are, and I love it. Thank you. And I didn't share any with Layla, just saying.
I have gotten other teas that listeners have sent in the past and been very grateful. So thank you all for sending those in. We do love them. Now that we are all comfy cozy in our solarium, the sun's going down. You've got tea, I've got tea. Got a big fat joint here I'm going to pass over to you. Let's read some 1-star reviews.
Now, I just want to warn you right now that I am kind of pretty high, so if I get giggling at some of these, just like throw something at the screen.
Just recently, I was out in Salem, Massachusetts with Chelle, and we walked around and checked out a lot of our favorite places before the October crowds. As of just recently, October 1st has passed. The crowds are here, the costumes, the performers, the decorations. It's absolutely witchlicious in Salem, Massachusetts right now.
To all of our listeners, I did a bad thing.
What'd you do?
Well, you were there, you just don't realize where I'm headed with this thing right now.
Oh,
I did probably the absolute worst best friend thing anybody on the planet could do. I I took you to the Witch City Mall bathroom, and I'm so
you
sorry.
did.
And
Oh,
I appreciate that you're still my friend, but we had to pee and
it was
the porta
awful.
potties weren't brought in yet, and I didn't know what to do,
It
and
was
I'm
terrible.
sorry. The smell was so bad.
I walked into a wall of scent that was not pleasant. I think I died and came back, and I'm not sure. All I remember is going in, thinking it was the worst place I had ever been in my life, and then the next thing I know, I was teleported out next to you. I think I blacked out.
In my defense, you can tell I love you because I did tell you prior not to touch anything.
You did, and that was excellent advice.
I did. I said, do not touch anything.
Excellent advice.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah, I forgive you. I forgive you.
Thank
It
you.
it was an
Thank you.
emergency. It's the only
It
reason we
was.
went. But I don't recommend it, actually. And neither does anyone else. They are in our list of 1-star reviews. It was bad. The reviews are bad. I don't recommend reading them. But I also don't recommend that bathroom either.
You and I are from New York. I would have been just as pleased to like pop a squat under a bush. I would have felt cleaner.
I've been to New York City bathrooms. I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
to LA public bathrooms. I've been to festival bathrooms after a 10-day rainy fest. And I would pick any one of those over the Salem Mall bathrooms.
I have been in a porta potty that was in the 90-degree sun for a week, and it did not
Exactly.
compare to that
No.
damn wow. I have no words.
Do you remember back when they had that porta potty at the land that was basically just a big, huge Tupperware tub? And that
Yeah,
at the end of festivals, someone had
you
to
had to
go
bury
dig a
it.
hole and bury it? Yeah, the mall bathrooms are worse in Salem than
I
that.
would bury a bucket of shit
Yeah,
again
me too.
before I would.
Before, don't go in those bathrooms.
I'm really sorry I did that to you.
All right, so now that we've gotten all of our shit jokes out of the way, well, maybe not, because we are going to revisit these one-star reviews later. Let's start with a review of the Old Burying Point Cemetery.
What could you really say bad about it? It's a cemetery, for God's sakes. All right, I want to read this first one.
Okay.
Kevin L., 1-star review. It is a cemetery. No shit, Kevin L.
No shit.
The displays for witches, in quotes, that were killed were interesting to read, but the cemetery is just a cemetery. I didn't find anything interesting about it. A little bit spooky at night, but that's it. What the fuck did you expect, dude? It's a cemetery. Like it's in the title. Like it's called a cemetery.
You'd think that the headstones would have given it away, Kevin. I mean, for real.
I mean, does he think that we've got like skeletal pop-ups going on? It's a cemetery. Why do you think people want to live next to it? Neighbors are quiet.
Kevin was maybe expecting something a little more. I'm not sure. So, the next one for Old Burying Point Cemetery is from Beautiful Virus. 1-star review.
Beautiful virus. That tells you something.
Wrong. I recently visited this graveyard right around sunset. I was so completely uncomfortable. It felt as if there was anger everywhere. The stones were all kinds of broken. Some looked as if kids had taken it back to them. I felt the whole place was completely disrespected. You were not sure if you were walking over dead bodies or not. People walked all over, like they didn't even realize there were dead bodies laying 7 feet or less underneath them. This place should be blocked off. It's not a safe idea. I also think that Beautiful Virus did not realize that this is a cemetery. Not a festival, it's not a marketplace, it's a cemetery.
Okay, I want to address a couple of things. She was uncomfortable. Okay, yeah, you're in Salem. I get it. And then anger everywhere. If you were murdered, your freaking spirit would probably be a little pissed. The stones were broken. Oh my God. Freaking 300 years old. Like 300 years old, for God's sakes. I would say it is probably the least disrespected place in Salem.
Especially now.
Okay, when you walk in a cemetery, yeah, bodies underground. What are you expecting?
I do have to say something kind of interesting. Old Burying Point Cemetery, prior to 2012, I believe, you did used to be able to walk all over the place, like everywhere. And I
Actually, I
have.
have.
When I remember, there was not the memorial at the beginning of it, and there were no paths. You could pretty much just walk anywhere, right up to the stones and everything. The reviews from back then are all complaining about how people walked everywhere, right up to the gravestones. Nowadays, they have paths, and you are not allowed to leave the path. You're not allowed at all to walk on the
Right,
grass.
right.
Now the reviews are all complaining about how there's paths everywhere and you're not allowed to walk off the paths. I just thought it was funny that you literally cannot please people.
Seriously, truly.
All right, Shell, what's the next review?
Okay, which city walking tours? Black Ridge Properties, 1 star. If you value faith, history, and truth, I cannot recommend this tour. The presentation was openly dismissive to God, Christianity, and the Puritans who laid the foundation for religious freedom in this country. I'm going to puke before I get done with this. Oh my God. Okay, instead of proving balanced history, the guide mocked faith and criticized the Puritans as failures. As a Christian, I found this highly offensive. Wow, I find your review offensive. The only reason any of us have life and freedom is because God gives us breath and because of the sacrifices of those who came here seeking freedom of religion.
Oh boy.
Wow, to trash those people and belittle their faith felt deeply disrespectful. This is not the kind of history tour I would suggest to anyone Who wants an honest or respectful account of America's beginnings?
I guess they didn't like the fact that the Christians at the time persecuted their own people. I'm not sure what their problem was.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every single thing you hear from every single tour guide is like rock solid fact, but you came to Salem and you're looking for like a Christian history? Probably not. Again, what did you expect?
Yeah, if you go here expecting to hear that the Christians did beautiful, wonderful things during that time period, you're
No.
sadly mistaken. It's not the tour for you. All right, next one. This is also for Witch City Walking Tours. This is from Kristen C. 1-star review. This is a no-go. This walk and talk could be improved with historical accuracy, slowing down speech, clarity of narratives, increased professionalism, and avoiding scaring babies. We would not recommend and actually regret the experience.
Scaring babies?
Whose baby did they scare? Did they bring a baby on the tour? What kind of walking tour is this?
Why are you bringing a baby on a tour?
I don't even know. These are touted as scary. They're like ghost tours. They're telling the gory history of Salem. Why would you bring a baby? Of course it's going to be scared.
Okay, moving on. Bewitched in Salem. Crazy Ronnie. Okay, well, that says it all right there. 1 star. Extremely rude guy at the door. He asked if I had a backpack on under my cape, like I was going to steal or something. I've spent over $5,000 in gift stores this week while I'm here, and I'm a multi-millionaire. First of all, if you're putting it out there, you're probably not. Like I'm going to steal from his store. I picked up a bunch of stuff, then left it for them to put away. He deserves this for being rude.
Who's the rude one here?
Okay, we've already established the fact that I am not originally from here. When I came here, I'm a country girl. I'm from the woods. And someone said, hey, Shell, you shouldn't be putting your wallet in your back pocket like that. I'm like, why? I'm just going down the street to get lunch. They're like, well, you do know that all the pickpocketers and everybody come to Salem during the tourist season. I'm like, what? They're like, oh yeah, they arrest hundreds of pickpocketers every October. What? I'm so naive to this, but people steal from other tourists. They steal from stores. They walk out on restaurant bills. If you are a good enough person not to do that, bravo. Thank you. We appreciate. But don't think that there ain't 100 other people out there right now pickpocketing, stealing from stores, the whole bit.
Yeah, so it's perfectly reasonable for a
Yeah.
store to ask you to move your cape or if you have a backpack on underneath it.
Crazy Ronnie. I wish it wasn't an issue. You and me both, buddy, but unfortunately it is. Here we are.
If he really was a multimillionaire, I mean, come on. Really, Ronnie?
If I was a multimillionaire, I wouldn't be putting that shit all over the internet, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so now we get to the infamous Salem Mall bathroom.
Oh my God, I want to hear what other people have to say because I know what I think.
All right, so first one, Peter B., 1 star. I only come here to go to the pizza place. Probably some of the
Valid.
True. Probably some of the best pizza I ever had. Now, about the mall. This is pretty much the most disgusting mall I have ever seen.
Also valid.
The bathroom gets more gross every time I go. The last
True.
time the last time I went, you're making it very difficult for me because I have to put music behind this and stop it every time you talk.
Sorry. Sorry.
The last time I went, someone pooped on the floor and in the urinal. It was pretty unbelievable in a bad way. No wonder there were only a few open storefronts in the place. It's a review that mentions both poop and the best pizza they ever had. It pretty much describes that mall.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had pizza at that pizza place. Damn good pizza. I mean,
Yeah.
it's New York style. It's very, very good.
They don't have a bathroom, just saying.
No, they do not. Nobody does. Pretty much nobody does in Salem.
Yeah. No. Wow.
Go to the porta potties outside. Do not go to the mall bathroom.
I don't have male parts and don't understand some of the bathroom process, but like, how do you shit in a urinal?
It happens. People have done it. These
Wow.
bathrooms, there's fluids and stuff and everything smeared on the walls. Oh, it's bad. Okay, read another review. Read another review.
Okay, okay. Jennifer Watros, 1 star. Super creepy. No shit, lady. But not in the fun Halloween way that Salem is known for. I felt like I was going to phase into the back rooms at any moment. To be entirely fair, it was Easter Sunday and almost every single shop was closed. Maybe it would have felt more lively and less eerie on an average day. Okay, Jen, no, no.
No, no, it's
Sorry.
always that eerie.
Thank you for your optimism. No.
Definitely super creepy and not in the Halloweeny way that Salem's known for. No, not the fun scary. All right. So, next one. Eddie, 1 star. A bathroom worse than the actual witch trials. Yes. Wow, Eddie, you nailed that one.
Wow.
Yes, bravo, Eddie. Yes, yes.
Okay. I got another one.
All
Last
right.
one from BD, 1 star. The restroom in this mall was so disgusting. When I went on Monday, April 17th, 2 women in front of me walked in and out, just completely disgusted. Trash everywhere, in and out of the stalls. Truly, this it was a cursed place.
Yes, someone put a curse on the mall bathrooms and it is stuck, apparently.
And the trash everywhere is the least of the
Oh,
issues.
yeah. There's feces, urine. I don't even want to know what happens in there. It's
Eh.
no bad. Oh, scary bad. Don't go there. All right.
Next.
Salem Witch Village. This is from Richard S. 1 star review. Been once, will not return. Our Princess Cruise tour took us to this general area, that being the downtown district. It was established in 1692. We are interested in the Revolutionary era and not what we saw here, a few shops and museums. The Salem Witch Trial Museum would be the place to go if you wish to know a little about that unfortunate era of American history. The Witch Village is more dedicated to modern day so-called witches.
So what you're saying is this guy had an idea of what he would learn and see when he got here, and when he was wrong, he was mad?
Yeah, he didn't like the so-called witches. Are we so-called witches? I mean, I call myself a witch.
I mean, I call myself a witch, so
I
I
guess that does that count?
I guess. I guess.
All right, what's the next one?
Weird. Okay. Moon's gift shop. This is Dave Yerksa, and he's giving a 1 star. Neat stuff, overpriced. Old lady behind the counter wouldn't accept cash because she didn't have a bill checker. Was a real witch about it. Um,
She probably was a witch.
well, yeah, you're in Salem.
All right, this next one is about one of my absolute favorite shops in the downtown of Salem, Massachusetts, and that is the Black Cat Curiosity Shop.
They have a bad review.
One of the few. Troke 4 says 1 star. Patches on display that are sold out, which is all kind of annoying. Other than that, okay.
Okay, what kind of a dick are you when you give a 1 star review because you come in October and one thing is sold out?
Right? Oh my gosh. Troke, I mean, seriously, you're going to give that amazing store a 1 star review because they were sold out of some patches? That's some high standards right there. I think Troke 4 has some very high
You know what?
standards.
He ain't getting none of their tea
That's true. And they do
because
have
we're
some
gonna drink it
excellent
all.
tea.
We're
Yeah.
gonna drink it all.
Don't go back, Troke 4, because we're going to have all their tea and you don't get any. You don't deserve it. All right.
Okay, moving on.
Now you've stayed at this next place.
The Hawthorne. I have stayed here and I love it. This is I'm in Love, 1 star. Very haunted. No shit, Sherlock. Okay.
Yes, it is.
It's the frickin' Hawthorne. We stayed in room 614, next to the most haunted room. There we were fooling around with our cameras and we turned on the video camera and heard a voice growl, "Get out." We took some pics. Every pic had at least 10 orbs. We were getting touched. The spookiest thing was that my parents were praying and all of a sudden a blue cross appeared on the door. We looked and took pics. Wasn't there only on the video camera. We left at 1 in the morning, so do not stay in that room. You just described something I would die to pay for. Hook me up.
Why is this not a 5-star review? Like, why is this not 5 stars? I mean, I don't get that. That makes no sense.
Why would you stay in a haunted hotel and then give it a 1 star because you think it's haunted?
They came with cameras and video. It sounds like they were trying to get ghosts. I mean, 1 star for getting exactly what you wanted?
Oh my God, you love orbs.
I
You should
do. I saw
go
the
there,
10
man.
orbs.
I actually have a few times stayed at the Hawthorne, and I will agree, very haunted. But like you get what you pay for, man. Like you're staying at a haunted place. Yeah, it's haunted. Like again, what do you expect? This town is like over 300 years old. Yeah.
There's going to be
Yeah.
some spooky things.
Yeah.
All right, next review for the Hawthorne is from Kevin Beck. 3 stars. And I picked this one just, it's interesting. You'll see why. Beautiful historic haunted hotel. Hotel beautiful. Service excellent. Bathroom beyond small. You can brush teeth, shower, and use toilet simultaneously. The reason I am deducting points is because my daughter and I stayed in room 525 and were haunted from 2 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. This was the scariest. I just think the exact times is hilarious. This was the scariest thing that either of us has ever encountered in our lives. I shouldn't be laughing. We will never be able to forget the experience. I will be surprised if this rating is accepted, but I must report the truth. The place has every ounce of historic charm, but unfortunately, this for us included apparitions and supernatural occurrences.
I want to go back to the beginning and I want to address the bathroom.
Why didn't he deduct points for the bathroom?
Well, I have stayed there and I will say it's small.
It is. It's a historic hotel. You don't stay there because you want big, huge, luxurious rooms. You stay there for the history.
But I had a clawfoot bathtub and I took a
Nice.
bath in it. But again, 300 plus years old. Like, what are you expecting? And did you not stay at the haunted hotel to be haunted?
At least this person gave it 3 stars. That's like the bare minimum for a haunting, I would think.
You paid for an unforgettable experience and by damn, you got it.
2 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. Precisely. I love it.
In my opinion, you got everything you came here for.
That's right. Should have been a 5 star. All right, what's next, Shell?
Okay, Crowhaven Corner. I want to point out that that is at the original location of the very first witchcraft store ever in Salem. It wasn't called Crowhaven Corner, but that is the location. Okay, Kelvin J. Hall, 1 star. I understand. You found paradise in Salem, had a good trade, made a good living. The police protected you, and there were courts of law, and you didn't need a friend of me. What? Okay, I'm gonna
I
keep
think they're
going.
doing a bit. Keep going. Keep going.
But now you come to me and say, Charlotte, stop appropriating cultures. But you didn't ask with respect, you bitch. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me High Priestess. Instead, you come into my house on the day my daughter is to join the 9th generation of Italian witches, and you, ask me to do a psychic self-defense for money.
I think they were doing a bit.
I felt like I was like William Shatner, like giving you like the background of our next mission.
I think this is like a riff on like The Godfather or something.
What didn't they like? I don't get it.
On the day my daughter is to join the 9th generation of Italian witches. Yeah, I
Is it
don't know.
because no one wanted to be their friend? You don't offer friendship. Like, what?
They took a quote from The Godfather and they slightly changed it to be Salem and Witchy specific. But they're really quoting like a Godfather thing. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what happened, who pissed them off, what happened here, but there's a
I
story.
think
I
he
know
ate
it.
more gummies than me.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know what happened with Calvin and Crowhaven Corner, but I think there's a generational curse involved. And yeah, don't piss off an Italian witch. I don't know.
Wow, weird. Okay. What do you got next?
So the next one is the Salem Witch Museum, which is another place that we absolutely love.
Don't be dissing on the Witchboard Museum.
right?
Okay,
Seriously,
lay
this
it on
place is
me.
awesome.
What do you got,
All right. Tammy, 1 star.
bitch?
Well, like we already don't like you, Tammy.
Right?
It's 1.5 small rooms of Ouija boards. Don't waste your money. I spent $20 and then turned around and walked back out. I don't know who is reviewing this because it has nothing to do with the Salem witch trials.
Who said it did?
Right?
It's called a spirit board museum.
There's so many places in Salem that don't have anything to do with the witch trials. So that was your first mistake. Your second is walking in and then walking right back out. Holy crow, Tammy. That place is like stuffed floor to ceiling with the most amazing Ouija spirit boards, talking boards from everywhere. And the owner, the curator, if you talk to him, holy cow, this guy will talk your ear off. He is a veritable living, walking book of knowledge on all things
We
spirit
spent like
boards,
2 hours there.
right? Like we could practically not get us out. It was so amazing.
And by the way, Tammy, I don't know when you went there, but the admission is $10, and even if it was 20, I'd pay it again.
Seriously, it is 2 rooms, like 1.5 small rooms, but it is so cool. And there is so much to see there. I would happily pay the $10 because all of it goes into more boards, so many cool stories, so much interesting stuff. Definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Moving on to the Peabody Essex Museum. We've got reality check Kelly, 1 star. The museum displays are heavily politicized. 100% woke, that is. That's weird because me and my sweet love went and saw like a shoes around the world display, and I don't know how that
How
was
do you make that
political,
woke?
right? But whatever. Okay.
Eh.
Their approach creates a sour, bitter, and pouting image of many of the artists presenting while showing the curators to be biased and smug. The history of humanity is not pretty, we know that. Dwelling on the past only hinders valid efforts to make the future better for everyone.
Uh,
It's a museum.
isn't the saying those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it? Anyway,
It is and always has been a losing proposition. The curators have never realized this reality. Steer clear of this museum is my suggestion.
reality check Kelly. Here's a reality check for you. If you go to a museum, they're going to talk about history and the past. Just saying.
What?
I know you didn't expect this, but they will talk about things that happened in the past and even the shitty things because that's history. It's part of history. Just a reality check, just saying.
And I want to point out right now they have a great Salem Witch Trials exhibition. Totally worth it. Go. And they have a great little store. And you know how I love to buy things.
Now, I don't think that we have, oh, we do actually. Okay, later we'll be talking about the Salem Witch Museum, and you'll see next to the title, Shell, I wrote so many bad reviews. But the Peabody Essex Museum is actually a fantastic museum to go to. So there are a couple of them in town to go to, but we'll talk about one we don't recommend later.
I would say Peabody Essex Museum is more like a what I would call a regular museum. It has to do with the area and history of the area, whereas other museums we're going to talk about are like witchy specific. PEM is not witchy specific.
So next one, this is for the Witch House. This is the Judge Corwin house. Katie Daniel, 1 star. It just wasn't worth it, the 825.
It's $8, man.
The creaks in the floorboards were my favorite aspect of the house. It, it was also not a house of the witches, but the home of the judge who sentenced them. I found Salem to be a bit of a tourist trap and appreciated the fact it only cost me $8.25 to find out. I highly recommend the Patrick Doherty installation, though. The cemetery is also really cool and free.
You come to a touristy place. What the hell do you expect, yo?
Yeah, and 825 to go through Judge Corwin's house. That is part of the witch trials. That is a big part of it. That house, that's where some of the people who were accused of being witches were interrogated.
You and I thought that was like so damn fascinating.
I wouldn't say it's haunted or anything, but just knowing what happened in that very house, those very walls, those very floorboards, it's amazing some of the historic buildings and things that are still there. And the witch house is one of them. I know that the name of it can be misleading for some people, but listen to a tour guide or something.
Yeah, or like read. I don't
Right.
know.
All right. So we got another one for the witch house.
Okay, K, 1 star. Awful. My husband and I went to Salem for our first wedding anniversary. We went to Tales at the Witch House on Friday the 13th because we love all things Halloween and creepy. This is not it. This sucked. We also bought tickets for the next night, not knowing the Pioneer Village would be the same thing. If you want to do them, do the Pioneer Village. It was creepy because you were in the woods. The whole thing was crappy because of the ghost stories weren't anything that anyone could understand nor creepy. Also, they just read from Edgar Allan Poe. Do not waste your money. Save it and do something else. Okay, I have a little gripe, and I'm gonna air it as part of the answer here. So everybody comes to Salem for the history of witchcraft and witches and this, that, and the other. What does that have to do with Halloween and Friday the 13th? I'm just saying, don't judge me.
Right.
Don't judge me. And again, you came to a tourist area and got mad because you were doing touristy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
And I think that both of those things can exist side by side. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to see all the Halloween creepy things right next to the modern witch things and the history.
Right.
It's interesting. It's one of those things that Salem, I think, holds very well, that energy, that dichotomy of those two different types of energy, the tragic history of people that were not witches but were accused of being witches, the maritime history that's, not as tragic. And then, of course, the modern day witchcraft, all the shops, the events, everything with modern witchcraft that you can see there, and also the Halloween and creepy. It all exists at the same time in this beautiful soup of witchy wonderfulness, I think. But you can't be mad that there's peanut butter in your chocolate, It's
Yeah.
you have to go there expecting that it's all going to be together, I guess.
It's almost like if you want one piece of it, you have to take all the pieces of it.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to walk down Salem and ignore any of the pieces. You're going to see the maritime history. You're going to see the witch history. You're going to see the Hawthorne House and the House of Seven Gables and the modern witch shops. You're going to see modern witches. You're going to see Halloween witches, all of it. You're going to see Bewitched, TV witches. All of those things exist in Salem, and I think that's part of what makes it special.
People are so damn critical.
Right? Just take it as it is because it's kind of awesome. All right, so now we're going to get into some seriousness.
All right, Proctor's Ledge Memorial. You and I went there.
This is actually newer. The two memorial sites are both kind of new, and I love them so much. They're so good.
So Proctor's Ledge was built around 2016-ish, relatively new, and behind an old Walgreens. It's weird.
It's so weird to get to. It is a beautiful moving site, just super weird to get to.
And on like a one-way road, it's just weird. You'll figure it out. Google will get you there. So, George Potts, 1 star, jerk. Nobody in the Salem witch trials was a witch or wanted to be a witch. Wow, he reads history. Why do people come to Salem to celebrate their witch identification? They should celebrate the madness of crowds and how it can influence the finding of guilt through intimidation of judges and jury.
Well,
Okay, George.
I think George missed the whole plot.
Okay, I get it that the people who were persecuted weren't witches, but that doesn't negate that they were hung and murdered.
Right.
Okay.
We do come to celebrate our witch identification and we go to reclaim the witch identification from people that were killed mistakenly in our name. And we go to say that they will not be forgotten. What they went through should never happen to anyone, witch or not. And we will
Right.
not forget the horrors that were foisted upon those people. And we will celebrate being witches in spite of what was done to those people.
Georgie boy, think of it as like a mecca.
There you go. You missed the point, Georgie.
Yeah, weird. Okay. You got one?
Yeah, next one. Josh Hunt. 1 star. I thought there was going to be an actual ledge you could lean off of and take pics like, OMG, oh no, I'm falling, but JK. So disappointed. Frowny face emoji.
Wow. Wow. Like,
Oh,
wow.
Josh. Oh, Josh.
Wow.
Josh.
Wow.
Josh. An actual ledge. Josh. Oh my God. Oh no, I'm falling, but JK.
Josh, maybe you need to find an actual ledge and jump off it.
Ooh. Hey. Ouch. That's a little harsh on old Joshy there, Chelle. Maybe he just needs to put the vape down.
Okay. One more for Proctor Sledge.
All right.
And this is Daniel Pedersen. He gave it 2 stars. Recycling on the left, trash on the right. Don't enter, circle at night. Wow, he's a poet and didn't even know it.
Right.
And oh, by the way, there is a memorial there. Go visit your own grandparents' or great-grandparents' grave instead, or go to the downtown memorial. This memorial is not worth seeing.
The attempt at poetry, the stopping halfway through. I don't get this review. This is a great memorial. What do they have against it? And why were they rhyming?
All right, I have a very big complaint about Salem as a whole that I have been voicing a lot lately, and that is the lack of garbage cans around town for people to randomly put garbage in.
That's a very good point. Okay, I'm going to randomly interject. One of the cool things about Disney is that they did a study and found that people will only go like 15 paces or something with garbage in their hands before they'll drop it somewhere.
Right.
So they started putting up garbage cans roughly every 15 paces. Salem has done none of that. There are no garbage cans anywhere.
We need trash receptacles.
And recycling ones as well, both.
And now we got Danny Boy bitching that he found a freaking garbage can and a recycling one.
Not in
Really?
downtown Salem,
Really?
by the way.
I mean, really?
But it's for real.
Would you rather people throw their garbage on the memorial? Like, dude.
It is such a beautiful memorial. We'll post pictures up. It is absolutely stunning. Well done. Good research.
And they don't want you in it late at night because people are disrespectful, and the actions of one affect the actions of all. So some douchebag did something at night and now they don't want anybody there. Okay, like follow the rules. I think it is one of the most poignant things to go visit, in my opinion.
I agree.
But I also agree that you should go visit your grandparents and great grandparents' graves. He had a point there.
1 point. 1 point. Maybe that's why he gave it 2 stars. So this next place, one of the many places that I had a difficult time finding bad reviews for because many of the reviews are so overwhelmingly, glowingly positive, and that is Pentagram. But I picked this one because it just made me giggle when I read it. So this one is from Baby Cocaine. 2 stars. Very commercial. Felt very performative and artificial. Nice smelling candles, though, with 2 exclamation points.
I have a 3-word response to this review. Kiss my ass.
Hey,
Like,
the candles smell
seriously.
good, though.
Actually, they really, really
They
do.
do.
But like, kiss my ass.
I just love that they walk into a business of selling things and are like, very commercial. Well, no shit, Sherlock. That's the
It's a
point,
store.
right? But had to end it with nice smelling candles, though. Thank you, Baby Cocaine, for that glowing
Wow.
review at the end.
Okay, moving on. Count Orlok, Nightmare Gallery, which actually I have no frame of reference, never been there. So, John, 1 star. John says he was assaulted by employees. Well, if that's the case, stop writing reviews and call the police unless you're lying.
Oh, wait, before you start, I am going to say, spoiler alert, John is lying. There was a response from the owner, and they have it all on video.
Ooh.
Okay, go ahead.
So John writes, so I knew the rules and I snapped a few pictures. When they confronted me, I asked to leave. The male tried to keep me from leaving and pushed me. He demanded I delete my photos before I left. About 10 minutes later, a woman who worked there came up from behind me on the street and pushed me. She said it was for me being an asshole as she walked away. I would advise people not to go. Okay, so you were an asshole. You were given specific rules. You chose to break them
Yeah,
and
he
get
stated right in the first sentence, I knew the rules and broke them anyway.
like,
Dick.
are we for you follow the rules or there's consequences? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, a lot of the complaint reviews for Count Orlok's Nightmare Gallery were over people upset that they were told, I guess it says everywhere, no pictures. And so when people take pictures, they're asked to delete them because there's also cameras everywhere, which is how
Uh,
I know that John is lying because they caught the whole thing on camera. So if you do go to Count Orlok's Nightmare Gallery, follow the
follow the
rules
rules.
and don't be an asshole, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. No
Okay.
sympathy, John. No sympathy.
No.
All right. So KF, 1 star. Waste of money. Total waste of money. Touted as Hollywood monster history. More like Bourville. Clown haunted house during haunted happenings was simply 3 people dressed up in clown costumes screaming in your ear. No scare, just screaming. I mean, 3 people dressed up in clown costumes sounds like terrifying to me, to be honest. It's like my worst nightmare.
I mean, I don't know, lady. I got nothing for you. I don't
All
know.
right, let's move on to the candy company because that sounds scary.
Now, I want to preface this with I have on occasion been known to spend $100 or more in one shot at this place.
So
So
easy to do.
I already hate the person who's going to give a bad review. With that being said, Ye Old Peppermint Company, MC 1 star, Kirsten Salem. We purchased a 1 pound box of assorted chocolate. In short, very underwhelming, very disappointing as we were looking to eating them.
I don't even know what they're upset about. They got a one
Um,
pound box of assorted chocolates from Ye Old Peppermint Company, the oldest candy company in the United States, let me just say. And how could they be underwhelmed? Come on, this is so good. I don't understand. Why were they disappointed? Were they not able to eat the chocolates? Why were they not able to eat the chocolates?
just the thought of Ye Old Peppermint Company, I
You
can
want chocolate.
taste, like I can taste sea salt caramels.
Oh
Oh my
God.
God, they have truffles, turtle candy. I
So
mean,
yummy.
fruit slices. Like, oh my God, oh my God. Don't even get me going, or I will have to go there tomorrow. Yeah, MC, maybe you have a
Maybe you need to go
lactose
back.
issue. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Maybe you just don't have good taste, MC.
Yeah, yeah, dude, it's you. It's not Ye Old Peppermint Company, I promise you.
All right, so the next one, this is a location, just a place, just a statue that has caused quite a bit of division in Salem. And I can kind of understand why. It was donated there by a production company, kind of as a more of a advertisement, I think. So some people hate it. Some people love it. I am in the camp where I kind of like it. This is the Bewitched statue.
I am kind of torn.
Yeah, I'm a little torn. I do love the idea that Samantha was the first accepted witch in the United States. She was an
Right.
out and proud witch on TV, I guess, kind of the character anyway. And people loved her. They loved that show. And I like that representation of witches in popular culture being accepted. And she was the first one. So for that, I appreciate it.
What is your review?
Patty Velez, 1 star. Weird vibe in this location. Not going back.
You're at the biggest crossroads in downtown Salem. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, there's a lot going on there. And there are some places in Salem where you walk through and you immediately kind of get a shiver. You're like, oh, this is a weird spot. And it doesn't necessarily seem to be at some of the historic locations. There is one, and we'll talk about that later. But some of the historic locations are just historic and cool. But every once in a while, you'll be walking down a random sidewalk and you'll be like, oh, there's something here. There's a vibe here. Maybe Patty was getting that at the Bewitched statue.
Well, there is a thing. So at the Bewitched statue, a lot in October, There are people who have different views, and that is absolutely acceptable. But there is a gentleman who will set up a very huge speaker right in front of the Bewitched statue. And with his microphone, he usually will spend the whole day there reading his Bible through his loudspeaker. And
Really?
he has the right to do that.
Sure he
And then
does.
generally, about 10 feet away, Satan is there, and he has a big sign because Satan gives away free hugs. And anytime I am walking through there and I see the guy reading his Bible out to the street, I am compelled to give Satan a hug.
Well, yeah, the Church of Satan is awesome in Salem. And if you are lucky enough to be in Salem in October, there are a lot of street performers that are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Satan giving out free hugs, a must see.
I mean, he literally wears a sign around his neck, free hugs. Like, how can you not hug a guy who just wants a hug?
Sometimes I just need a hug, you know?
Right?
All right. So, next one.
We have a snorer. Snorer. Okay, snorer, 1 star. Why? Sums up Salem's saturation with irrelevant awfulness. I mean, I don't know what's awful, but
Mm,
why is this here? It has no connection to the historical events. However, it typifies most of the town's shops and attractions. Fictitious witch foolery. UFOs, Harry Potter, and horror films contribute to a feeling of a tacky year-round Halloween tourist trap. The statue typifies this aspect of Salem, ignoring the historical events. First of all, if we have some UFO stuff going on, I need addresses because I want to go.
right? I haven't heard of that in Salem, but that would be fun.
Why does everything have to be about the exact history of what happened here? I think modern day witches want to come to Salem as a almost like a we made it. You couldn't get rid of us, we made it.
Yeah. Look what they tried to do in our name to people who weren't even witches, and look how strong we are now.
And to have the very first accepted publicly, whether it was a fictitious character or not, Samantha meant something to the witch community. She was the first public, even if it was a fictitious, first public figure on television. And that was a big deal back then.
Yes, there is a Disneyfied witch aspect to Salem, and the Bewitched statue is a little bit of an example of that, I guess. But that's part of the fun of it. It doesn't always have to be serious, and there is serious. You can find as much serious history as you want in Salem, or you can find as much UFO, Harry Potter, fictitious witch foolery as you want in Salem. It's all there.
I want to find the UFO stuff.
The one thing I'd really like to see more of in Salem is resources for witches, like community building, circle, workshops, that type of thing.
Yeah.
All right,
Moving on.
moving on. Next one, Salem Witch Trials Memorial. This is another one that I really like.
Isn't that really the same, really, as kind of Charter Street Cemetery?
It is, but this is the memorial attached to the cemetery.
Okay.
So as you're going into Charter Street Cemetery, there is the Salem Witch Trials Memorial, which again is kind of new. And this is it's a little rectangle. And as you walk into it, look down because you'll see some bricks inlaid with some of the final words of the people who were killed as witches. And it's moving and sad. And as you go through this rectangle on the low stone wall, you'll see what look like stone benches. They're not really benches. And carved into them are the names, the date, and the manner of death of all the people who were killed
And a lot of visitors will leave flowers, spell components, coins, mementos on
yeah.
each of these little bench things.
And as you go around this rectangle, it goes in order from Rebecca Nurse, who was the first, all the way to the last. And it is a beautiful, very moving memorial. Sometimes tours will take you through and talk about it a little bit. You can also just walk it yourself. And it's simple, but very beautiful, very moving. So, all right. Seaside 166-5417-1683. 1 star. All in caps. Terrible for non-witch lovers. I think this place is good if you are into the witchy stuff. Although I am not, and I found the place rather strange and boring. Would not recommend. Waste of time.
Okay, seaside, blah, 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 blah. If I went to your grandma's grave, I might find it strange and boring. Like, what the hell do you expect? You are coming to a memorial. If you aren't into the witchy things, why are you at a witch memorial?
You could just be into history. You don't have to be into witchy stuff. Just being into American history would make it pretty interesting. So, yeah, and if you're not interested in history, why are you at a historical town?
And I'm bitching about it online that it is boring.
Right? Hello, you went to a historic town and you're bitching that it's historic? Yeah, I think you might be the
Okay.
problem.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one?
We have the Salem Witch Museum, and this has so many bad reviews.
Yeah, that's my little note on there. Oh my goodness. Normally you go and you look at reviews for a place and you can see it has like 100 5-star reviews, 75
Yeah.
4-star reviews. And then like this one was completely the inverse. The 1-star reviews heavily outweighed anything else.
I have to admit, this is the one place and the one thing I'm not a fan, and I probably could chime in on the bad reviews, only because it was probably put together like the year I was born, and that was a minute ago. But Patty H, we'll get her opinion and not talk about mine. Patty H, 1 star, so ridiculous, was a huge disappointment. You get to watch stationary figures with pre-recorded dialogue. There are no actual trials with actors. It's like Chuck E. Cheese with witches. Okay, I need to raise my hand here. Patty, I actually may have had more fun at Chuck E. Cheese.
Other than the terrible food, I've gotten pretty high and gone to Chuck E. Cheese and had a good time. Not the Salem Witch Museum.
Here's the problem. They do a good story. I got my shot glass there, but when I say I think this was put together the year I was born, like I'm not kidding. Their biggest issue is they just need to update it. There, I said
This next review would definitely agree with you. This is from Jacob C. 1 star. Just don't.
it.
Just don't. Have insomnia? This will cure you. Boring and not worth your money, and definitely not a museum. More like a dollar store version of a Madame Tussauds, but the figures all have some kind of skin irritation. If I were the owner of this, I would knock it down and try again.
Wow. Wow. Like, wow.
Dollar store Madame Tussauds with skin irritation. Yeah, that about it. That's beautiful. That's brilliant. Yes. Poetic. Perfect. No notes, Jacob. Perfect.
Jacob, okay, dude, 110.
Nailed it.
Yeah. But I wouldn't knock it down because the outside is cool. Just redo it.
That's true. I think that's probably the saddest thing of this whole problem is if you just go to the outside of the
Yeah.
Salem Witch Museum at night and take pictures. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But don't go in and don't pay. All right. So next one.
All right, we've got Lady Tam, 1 star. Don't waste your time or money. We hear you, Lady Tam. This is a complete waste of time and certainly not worth the money to enter. Firstly, there is a long wait to get in. Everything in Salem has a long wait. The exhibits are outdated, and you have to sit on very uncomfortable metal stools to watch poorly made mannequins get illuminated as the story goes on. The second exhibit is equally as bad, except without the stool. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So you don't even get to sit down. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
My thought was, if it's that boring, I'm going to want to sit and I'm going to be mad if I don't have enough. She concludes it with, my highlight was the green button with a little sign saying, do not press.
Wow. How boring was it that her highlight was a green button with a sign that said do not press?
Okay, I thought when you weren't supposed to press a button, it was red.
You'd think it's killing me. I wish
I
I could
have
ask Lady Tam,
questions.
what's the button to? Like, why is there a button? I just need to know.
Am I going to have to spend money and go find out what the damn green button says?
No, not I would not give them your money. No, not but I do need to know. If anyone has been in there and knows what the green button's for, please let us know.
I know we have listeners going this month, and I know they're going to go.
Don't
You
go.
need to let us know what this freaking green button is.
If you get sucked into going to the Salem Witch Museum, please tell us what the green button that says do not press is for and let us know if you pressed it.
And double points if you press it.
All right, last one. This is our last 1-star review, and this is for a store called Omen from Piper K. 3 stars. David is an asshole. Never trust a man in a Batman shirt and a weird vest to give a tarot reading and not be an asshole. Okay, let me try again.
All I can think about is as they're laying out a tarot spread going, I am Batman.
Batman. Batman. All right, hold on. Okay, I'm going to try and read this again with a straight face. Piper K. 3 stars. David is an asshole. Never trust a man in a Batman shirt and a weird vest to give a tarot reading and not be an asshole. Everyone else we met seemed friendly and helpful, though. Nice.
Whoa. Okay.
I don't know if I would trust a man in a Batman shirt and a vest to give me a tarot reading. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
All right, David, why are you wearing a vest with a t-shirt? Okay, I need to know.
Why are you an asshole? And why did it get 3 stars if he was that much of an asshole? Like, was he not totally an asshole? Was everyone else that much friendlier and nicer that it bumped it up from a 1 star to a 3
Was it a
star?
leather vest or was it material?
Would that give him more or less stars in your opinion, Shell?
Why was he wearing a vest with a Batman t-shirt?
Yeah, wouldn't you want the Batman to shine through? Wouldn't the Batman be the focal point?
Oh my God, what if he was wearing a leather vest that had like all of Batman's like some shit, the cord to lift him up in the air and his boomerang and his little smoke bombs to disappear. Maybe it was like a utility vest.
If it was a utility vest, it could have had like runes in one pocket, pendulum in another. You open it up like you're a flasher, and there's 15 different tarot decks and 2 oracle decks.
But he was still an asshole.
Still an asshole. Yeah. Prepared asshole. Apparently he's prepared, but an asshole.
All I had to hear was that they were an asshole, and it was like, all right, enough said. But the Batman shirt seals the deal.
Yeah, and I guess that's the warning. So now we know. Now we know. You see someone in a vest and a Batman t-shirt, no matter how prepared they are, still an
Run.
asshole. Run.
Run.
Yeah. No tarot reading from them.
Weird.
So
Weird.
now that we've read you all the terrible reviews of some of our favorite and least favorite places in Salem, Massachusetts, you guys should go check it out. See if it's a mecca. Find some history. Find some cheesy witchcraft. Find some cool, amazing, wonderful, modern witch awesomeness. And maybe find Shell.
But just don't be mad if you have an expectation and 1 or 2 things don't live up to it.
Expect lines. Expect to not have parking. Expect that it will be very crowded. These shops are super old. They're tiny and they're packed floor to ceiling with stuff. And most of them, almost all of them, are small businesses. They're just owned by local people.
The one thing you should expect, the best witchy shopping experience of your life.
Oh,
of your
yeah.
life.
Just walking down the street, the atmosphere, the witches, the costumes, the performers, the music,
The
the
food.
fall weather, the food. It's amazing. It's amazing. Go and have fun. But remember, your feet will hurt. You will get crowded. And somebody's probably going to step on your toes and not mean it. So hold off on the curses.
And you will end up in a bathroom that you might regret later.
Ooh, I hope not. I hope not. All right, all you witchy type people, we hope you're enjoying your season of the witch, because we know Shell and I certainly are.
And if you find me, we'll get a selfie.
There you go. Do a little bit of Where's Shell in Salem, Massachusetts. Get your shopping on. Make sure to get all the bright and shiny, wonderful witchy baubles you could ever want. And of course, a little tiny witch hat, because, apparently everyone needs one.
Right?
But until our next episode, Shell and I are going to curl back up, repack this bowl, get some more tea, and chill out in our little solarium. And we will see you next week. Until then, be wise, be wicked.
And keep it witchy, folks.